morning and welcome to another episode of Paint and Coffee. Today we're not actually going to be painting. I actually picked up this paint tray from Altruistic at Gen Con. Here's our card, you can see. And so I figured this guy I met at Gen Con, his booth is actually right behind the Dice Tower booth. And this is his new product. He's never made these before, and so I figured, you know what? I bought it, and I'm gonna try to put it together. See how easy it goes together, and then I'm gonna use it, and I'm gonna give a product review of this paint tray assembly. And so let's kind of dig in here and see what we kind of got. So there are instructions. It shows that there is a screw here that's going to go in towards the end. And so, set that aside and make sure we have all the pieces here. And so, this, I assume, is, it's got a little hole here. So this is the drawer. Okay, so I'm on my way to do that. I'm going to attempt to put this together as easily as possible without using sandpaper to smooth out rough edges, because it looks like it's pretty clean. As I'm looking at it, this has an angle to it, so hopefully that doesn't interfere with putting it together. So separate the pieces. So this is where your paintbrushes would go. You have a place for your cup here. And then your paints sit here. There's actually a bigger one that sits right on top of it. So like that. And then there should be one that sits underneath this. I love the smell of the wood on these things. And so as I'm looking at the picture, I don't see. Okay. Alright, so this will actually sit up like this. But first things first. Here are the handles for the sides. So there's actually a paint tray, so you can carry it wherever you need to go. So there's those. There's this. See, this is parts for the bag, for the drawer or bag separately. And it shows like how to put the drawer together first, which I'm not going to worry about that just yet, because I want to get this together. It says to gather these. So that, and these. It says place 2 beads of glue as shown. So I've got Gorilla Wood glue. There's no A and B side, so I don't want to put too much because I don't want to have a big cleanup. I'll smooth them out there. And it shows okay. should be on the other side. It doesn't really say that. I'll show that. Which I assumed it would have. And then these go towards the this. It makes sense to put glue there. I wonder why it doesn't say that. So I put a thin bead on this edge. There you go. I'm just going to smooth that out. Of course, I just put it on my shirt. There we go. Alright, what's next? I'm going to take the smaller axe, it said. So I'm going to put it like that. So this is going together like that. I almost need like a vise to hold this together. The thing I need to do is, since I'm looking at this, since this is where the drawer is going to go, I need to get this excess off. Right. Now it says I need to apply a thin line of glue under each cutout slot. Make sure cup holder is either to the left or right of base. I'm right-handed, so I want the cup on my right-hand side. That went together pretty well. Make sure I get any excess glue off. Make sure that's not going to cause any problems later. I'm not going to be worried about glue on the inside here too much. There is a big bead of glue that I can get right there. So obviously this isn't something that's going to hold my paints all the time. This is only going to hold the paints that I'm using at the time that I'm using them. Alright, so and then next goes the top piece. I'm actually going to put that on like this. So make sure that the cup lines up on the other side. Make sure I get some glue here. There we go. What is next? Now it says to take this and glue it to this. That's out of the way. Now, the best way to do this is to glue back here. Now, something the guy did say is I didn't have to use this top piece here. Make sure I get any excess glue off the edges. Now it shows the guy putting on from the top to the, or from this to the laying this down, but I think it makes more sense to try to line it up this way. Go. Kind of wipe that glue in there. Now I'm just going to take that and just run that in there. Excess. Okay, next is, it's actually going to get glued to the base. So like this. Move that out of the way. So what are these pieces? Looks like these. Okay, that makes sense. So this will be glued to the base here. I'm trying to get more on the edge and not on this flat piece here. Here I want the glue, which I should just take a bead of glue and put it there. Make sure you wipe up all excess glue. You don't want it to look like a mess. Put little beads here. I don't want to put too much. So I want it to be able to, like, when I press it together, I want the glue to move and not like just make a big mess that I have to clean up. The reason I don't want the glue here is because I want it gluing to my table. I do have to let it set, which I will probably turn it upside down too, complete and let dry. So I'm going to slide this forward. Boom. Like that. Move these out of the way. Alright. It's coming along pretty quickly. I was kind of afraid it was going to take a while. So put some glue here. Make sure I get that on the sides here. Sides. Clean up this bead of glue that I got there. I put excess I know I'm not going to need. Alright. Kind of wiping that glue so it hides. So, that's what I have so far. Alright, let's do the other side. For us to take that piece out. If you notice, I'm putting it more on the edge here, because that's where it's going to meet up with the other wood. There we go. There we go. Take this, smooth out all that glue so it fits in that same nice. Together nicely there. Check this back here. Sure. I clean up any glue in the corner back here. We're almost done. Take some glue on my finger. And rub it into these little slots back here with the wood to help get that glue to seat in there. Alright. Now, this should go just like that. This is where I want the glue to be, right back here, because it's going to sit right against the tray. Let's actually turn it this way. Back it out. Let it get back in there. Back it out. Try it again. Since I'm not using, there we go. Check the inside seam, make sure there's no gap. Alright. Now the other side. Kind of get it started there. Back it out. The reason I'm backing out is so it's not just pushing the wood underneath it. Has some chance to remove some of that stuff that it's already pretty much drilled through. There we go. So I'm actually going to put some more glue right here. Help hold it to the base. I'm going to wipe it up. And then when I let this dry, I'm going to flip this upside down and then set something heavy on it so that way it can dry. Glue here. Oh, come on, guy. Oh no, he didn't cut that out. Oh no. Well, kind of improvising here. I have side cuts. So I got a knife here that I can use. So, the person I met, I don't think his name is on here, Altruistic. Yeah, his name is not on here. If you're watching this video, please make sure that all pieces are actually cut all the way through before sending these products out. Obviously that was easy enough to cut through. Which I shouldn't have had to done that, obviously. Let's try this. Okay. Drop that screw. Good thing I have a magnetic screwdriver for this. Ooh. Alright, so I'm actually going to take a bead of glue here. I didn't go all the way to the edge because I'm going to take this, rub that in there. Almost like it's a caulk, you know? I'll do that to the other side. Fold this up the other way. There we go. Wipe off the excess. Alright. Now I need some heavy stuff on it. So I'm going to let this dry. And I'm going to come back and I'm going to finish up that drawer. Alright, now that the paint tray or the paint, I guess it's more of a paint tray is what it says, but really it's more like a paint station. It's all dried and stuff. I want to go ahead and glue this together. And so I want to make sure I line it up correctly. So it's got that there, it's got that there, it's got that there, and then it's got that and that. And then we can go ahead and glue it together. Getting the excess off from there. Oops. got a little too much on there, so I'm going to take it and kind of move it over here. Try to wipe off all this excess glue. We do not need it on there. Should we get off on the inside? Wiping it also is kind of like caulk, and when you wipe caulk, it fills in that gap a little bit better. And I know this because I used to work at a boat factory where I had to put caulk in large amounts over the window, like the windshield, I guess you'd say, because it was a cabin cruiser boat. Get that paper towel off there. Take this little knife here. Make sure I get that corner to get that glue out. And then I'll set something heavy on that. We'll come back to it later. Alright, I got the little drawer here put together. It's all dried. I did have to take a sanding block and sand around the top. And just because I like to do this, if I have to sand anything, I also sand down the edges a little bit. That way they're smooth. I also sanded down this here. And then just for good measure, I sanded down here with the sanding block. The reason I did that is because I would get it in here, and it kind of frees up about there a little bit, and it'd be hard to get in there. And if I got it in all the way, then I had to really wiggle it to get it out. And this is the same problem they had at Gen Con when I looked at it. And so, again, Altruistic, if you're watching this video, I think that it would help if you possibly made this drawer maybe a 32nd to an 18th shorter, 1/32 inches shorter, just that way you have a little more clearance. Because I'd rather have a drawer that goes in, slides in and out, and then something that's perfectly fit in there. Because now I can actually get it in there and pull it out. And as you see, I actually got some washes in there. And so, like, I can put this in here. I have this I can put in there. I have other things I can put in. Like, I could put some of these in there if I wanted to. But just for right now, that's going to go in there. I've already started putting my washes up here. And then what I'm going to do when I actually go to paint is whatever miniature I'm painting, I'm actually going to, here, let me move this up a little bit. I'll just pick out what colors I'm going to need before I even start, and then I will go ahead and start putting it in there. I can actually leave them like that, or I can put them all the way down. But if I leave them like this, at least then I can definitely see what color I'm going to use. And I can do this for each miniature that I'm going to do. And then I have plenty of spaces here for various paintbrushes. So with all the different paintbrushes I have, I can actually pick which ones I really want. So this one's big enough I can put 2 of these big brushes in there. I can probably put that one in there. These ones are good for detailing, so I'll go ahead and throw that in there. Actually, I can go ahead and put these in there too. Ooh, I can't. Yeah, I definitely need this because look how fine point that is. So long that I can actually get into tight places. Oh, there's another one that wasn't cut out all the way. So I'll just do this. So these X-Acto knives I can put in this drawer here. And this glue stick, just in case. And so in the cup, I can actually use this cup just to throw it in there, or I can actually get a bigger cup. It doesn't necessarily matter because it's used for dipping paints. And it might be helpful to have a large one, or else I'm just going to have a bunch of paint streaks here when I clean off the brush from the water or whatever. This obviously cannot go there because it's handled, and this one can't go there because it has a handle. But I could just set it off to the side though. And so, see what other paintbrushes can I get in there. These big ones are going to have to, well, actually, I'm going to take out these red ones here. Put these in these slots here. I like these paintbrushes a lot. These fatter ones, just because they're really smooth and they're nice and big to grab. And I don't need all of these, so I'm just picking out the ones I know I like to use and just kind of fill in those spots. Anything that I know I'm not really going to use. So here's another one with red. I can just throw it in this box here, just in case I need another brush another day. This one's a very fine one. I might use that one day. Just throw those in there. Oh, here's a big one. Let's see, what can I use out of these? I don't think I'd really use any of these other than just for odds and ends. So I'll just leave those there. There's a nice fanning one. So boom. Oh, there's a nice one here. I have 3 open spots now. Well, of the small brushes. And I think that's it for right now. Yeah. Cool. So that is the paint tray, or as I like to call it, a paint station from Altruistic. And so I'm going to use this a few times, and then I'm going to give a product review of what I think. So, thanks for tuning in to Paint and Coffee, and hopefully you enjoyed watching me put together this paint tray assembly from Altruistic. Again, here is the card. Okay? And feel free to check them out, or wait till my product review of this. Alright, thanks for tuning in. See you next time.